All right. This is Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast, where CEOs, COOs, and business owners share strategies for success. This is 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best strategies are concise business advice. So let's get to it. Question number 1, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
All right. My name is Robert Nahoopii, or Rob. I'm a pharmacist by training, but I am, for the last 7 years, I've been the CEO and part owner of Turnkey Pharmacy Solutions. We're a consulting firm that helps hospitals and clinics stay compliant, also optimize their 340B program. It's a very specific area within the healthcare space and a very niched area, but that's what we do.
Awesome. All right. So question number 2, what's the best thing about being a business leader?
I think the best thing is we get to help set the direction. I love being able to set the direction of the company, being able to kind of sort of pick who you work with from a client basis. I love bringing on talent and really building a team of professionals, of self-starters, of people who really have the same passion for the same business that I have. And it's been wonderful to build our team up that way and really continue to add people to our team that continue to make us better. And it feels like we've been successful at that for the last 7 years.
Awesome. I like that. So question number 3, I hear from other leaders that people strategy in their business can be more challenging than the business strategy. What are your thoughts on that?
I do agree. I mean, for us, we've really picked our business strategy and we're focusing and staying on that. And so from a people strategy, I agree, in all aspects, from hiring and really trying to find those people that are out there that fit our culture and would work well on our team, who can work independently. We don't have an office. And so, which actually works well in this COVID time, since we're in the middle of COVID. And so we've already been operating remotely, and a lot of our audits we have been doing remotely, although we had a lot of on-site engagements. Those have changed. And so for us, it's finding the type of team member that can function in that environment well. Not everyone does well working from home. I think a lot of people are learning that in COVID, that there's some challenges when you're not in the office, being able to focus. But I think it is that component. And then, of course, over time, especially for staff that have been with us for years, being able to continue to get them to stay on task and stay focused. And we've been fortunate that we've hired a great team that does that. But that's something we always think about as we're hiring people, and it's part of our hiring questions. The other people part is our clients. We have sometimes turnover with clients, and sometimes we don't have the audience with the right people within an organization. And so it's always navigating that. And then also sometimes you get some clients in an organization that may not 100% agree with your recommendations. And so how do we make sure we do that in a way that's going to work well for the hospital or clinic that we're working with, but at the same time holding them accountable for compliance, which is what they're bringing us in to do. So I agree. I think no matter what you do, being able to have that emotional intelligence to work with people is critical.
Well, and I like the part that you said about the client, because there's a lot of different key people that are involved sometimes, especially in probably your clients, because they're larger organizations. And so you've got to manage all of those interests that the key people have. So yeah, it can be very challenging. Yes. So question number 4, what strategy would be great to share with other business leaders today?
So the strategy that I like a lot is, I'm going to borrow from the book Good to Great, which is the hedgehog concept.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that you find something that you can be the best at. And so for us, when we started our company, what our goal was to help small critical access hospitals really get into the program and save money, because we knew that they were having a hard time doing that. So we thought that was it. And although I think we are very good at that, and maybe we're the best at that, what we found later on is that there's a specific component of auditing within this in our area that really we thought, gosh, we could become the best auditors. Our staff come from the front lines. We're pharmacists or pharmacy directors or pharmacy analysts, and we thought we could do it the best. And so the strategy I always say is, it doesn't matter, well, it does matter what you do, but pick something you can become the best at. And that should be your goal and focus. And try not to diversify yourself so much that you're just a good at all these things. And not that you can't be successful doing that, but I love the idea of being the best at something. That's really driven our company. And it's drawn people to us. So we're able to draw excellent talent because we are seen, arguably, right, I'm biased, but as one of the better auditing firms in 340B in the country. And so I think it draws good talent because people want to join a team that's perceived as one of the top vendors out there or one of the top firms out there. And so I love that idea because it also means you can control price a little. You don't have to undercut to get business. People are going to come to you because they perceive you or see you as one of the best people in the space. And so I think that headshot concept, just becoming the best at what you do. And you have to read the book to get better understanding of what the headshot concept means specifically, but that's where we get it from. And we try and stick to that. We try not to diversify and lose focus on what we're good at.
Well, and that's great. Like you said, you diversify too much and it waters things down. And, that's not good for a lot of companies. You want to have that. That's a great book though, as well. So I like that book. So question number 5, what other successful leaders like yourself would you like to maybe acknowledge and you think would be great on a podcast?
So that's a great question. And, there's a lot of leaders that I don't know, but they would be great on a podcast. But one that I really like, in a totally different space, is a gentleman by the name of Pat Flynn. When I first started off, I was a pharmacy director, and I was thinking about getting to some entrepreneurial activities. And I found him. He does the Smart Passive Income podcast as well, but he mostly does a website. He does a lot of teaching people how to really take your passion and create a business. And I think he does a phenomenal job of teaching. And so I like him a lot. But just different TED Talks and different things people are doing, I think are fantastic. So I don't focus on a lot of specific people, but I do like Pat Flynn for just his desire to teach. I really like what he does there.
Awesome. So a 6th and final question, just a fun question. Yeah. Tell me about your favorite past boss.
Okay. My favorite boss was one of my mentors. Can I say her name?
Sure.
Okay. Well, it's Tina Aramaki. She was a regional director in our area with Intermountain Healthcare. Later on went on to Banner Health, but she was my favorite boss because she cared about people. She taught me how to care about your team, and not just superficially saying it, doing those things, but she genuinely cared about her staff. And wanting to make sure they were well, whether it was the one-on-one meetings, interactions with them, and really just thinking about them in all aspects of their life. And I thought that was very important. And so when I went on from learning from her and becoming a pharmacy director myself, that's one thing I always thought of. I always want to make sure my staff knew that I cared about them. And so having those conversations, getting to know them, not being a leader who just walks in and goes straight to my office, but make the rounds, talk to people, get to know them. And I thought she was just phenomenal at that. And then also just caring about what we did, what we produced as an organization, and just was proud of her team. And she wanted to be proud of her team. So she drove her team so that she could genuinely feel that way about them. So that's what I loved about Tina, what I love about Tina.
Well, and you bring up an interesting point that, we are so affected by our previous mentors or our people. They really have an effect on how we develop as leaders ourselves. And so hopefully those are in positive ways, obviously, but she sounds like a great person. So, well, hey, it's been great having you on. And before we leave, why don't you tell people how they can find you or get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So you can find me at, I'm on, what's the good question? 340B Rob on Twitter, at 340B Rob. So 340B, 340B is the kind of niche area that we're in. So that's one way. I'm also on LinkedIn under Robert Nahoopii. And since my name's fairly unique, I'm from Hawaii. I didn't mention that, got the wave behind me. So you can find me there. And looking forward to connect with anybody who's more interested. Love being in leadership. I think being in leadership gives us the opportunity to make a difference, and love to connect with more people out there trying to do the same thing.
Awesome. Well, I like the waves. Great picture in the background. So
at least
I wouldn't mind being in Hawaii right now, but unfortunately I'm not. So
I agree 100%.
So, hey, this has been Keith Weaver with the Top Executive Strategy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. And for more insights and to follow us, you can follow us at Weaver Business Coaching or on LinkedIn at the Top Executive Podcast. And best success to you.